Hello, football fans. If you're as excited as I am, you know that football is right around the corner, which means that training camp has started. That means Hard Knocks is back. 21 years later, LA is welcoming the Rams back home. We've got a special guest in. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss this.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Ooh, we got a little Californication. Chili peppers. We've got a new panel for Hard Knocks this season. I'm back. You guys recognize me. My name is Lyndsey Wegner. You can find me on Twitter at Lyndsey Wegner. And I am joined by Joe Doyle. Joe, hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome to Hard Knocks.
Great to be here. You almost called me Doyle.
Doyle.
Which I have been called before, so that would have been
Okay,
clutch.
that's the new nickname.
Yeah, but
Doyle.
I'm excited to be here. I can't wait to talk LA Rams. And let's put the pads on and start hitting some people. Let's do it.
And where can people reach you on Twitter?
You can reach me at JoJo Doyle.
Perfect. And we've also got Throwback Joe. This guy is amazing, you guys. I'm so glad that I got introduced to you thanks to my friend Sean Mills. Throwback Joe, welcome to our Hard Knocks After Show. Where can they tweet you?
At thank you, Lyndsey, first and foremost, at Throwback Joe 66.
Awesome. Joe, tell us a little bit about your background with the LA Rams, because you're kind of a big deal.
Hey, thank you, Lyndsey. She's the only person that's ever said that in a while. Yeah,
Aww.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, kind of goes back to when I was born, actually. My father brainwashed the heck out of all of us, and I had no choice. So I became an LA Rams fan way back in the 60s. In the 90s, I was connected with a former Rams player by the name of Vince Ferragamo. And Vince,
You guys might know him.
Right. Vince Ferragamo is the quarterback that led the 1979-80 team to the Super Bowl versus the Steelers. And so Vince and I have been great friends ever since, and we started an idea of just signing some autographs on T-shirts, and we one-upped it. And we found a guy that would do some jerseys and replicate Vinny's jerseys. And so the rest is history, man. It's just taken off since the 90s, and I picked up hundreds of clients like Vince, of course, and Roman Gabriel, Eric Dickerson, Deacon Jones, Nolan Cromwell, and the list just goes on. So I've just been in the business and as a fan for going on 20 some odd years now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You even, I think you told me, right, that your son, his
Yeah.
godfather is
Right,
Vince?
right, exactly, right.
I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah, it's cool. It's way cool. He's a great guy. He's probably a better guy than he ever was a football player, which says a lot for him. He's a good guy. Did a lot of things, or still does a lot of things in the community and down in Orange, and so good stuff. Good vibes coming from Vince. Yeah.
Awesome.
Love the guy. Yeah.
And Joe Doyle, tell me a little bit about your background with football, since we're introducing everybody and we're introducing the Rams back to LA.
All right, well, I'm going to lay it out early because y'all are going to find out at some point in time. I'm born and raised in Seattle, Washington, and just the same with you, I was indoctrinated into the Seahawk football culture, but I live here in LA now, and so I thought, what better time than now to really delve into behind enemy lines and really get to know the LA Rams and really start to delve into their rosters and figure out why y'all keep beating us like you guys did last season two times.
Yeah, right.
And so, yeah, I'm really excited. I got my favorite players that I really want to get to know during this season of Hard Knocks, and we're already starting to get to know them at the first episode. So that's kind of my background. I played a little high school ball back in the day.
What position did you play?
I played on the line.
Okay.
Yep, because I was too slow and not strong enough and could not catch. And so, needless to say, I wasn't, getting any, all-state recommendations. But I was like the Rudy of the team.
Right on.
Oh, we love that.
Yeah.
And you guys know that I'm obviously a huge Packer fan if you've been watching the last couple seasons growing up in Wisconsin. I've been on that season ticket waiting list since I was 9. Seems like we're never going to get them. Obviously, Brett Favre just inducted into the Hall of Fame this last weekend, gave a beautiful and amazing speech, as did most of the honorees did.
Like that guy, too.
Exactly. And we've got a jersey here in the middle, and we've also got some other jerseys and things in the studio with us today. We're actually going to be doing a giveaway. So if you guys want to get involved in this giveaway, what you're going to do is each week, follow us on Twitter. First of all 3 of us follow us on Twitter. You're going to rate us 5 stars on iTunes. Leave your Twitter handle there along with a comment, and stay with us on Twitter and YouTube. Talk to us about the Rams. Talk to us about your predictions, whatever you want to share about the LA Rams being back here. And at the end of the season, we'll be picking 3 people to get things. We've got a hooded jersey here. which is amazing. We've also got a Vince Ferragamo signed picture and a license plate holder. So there's going to be 3 things. The more times you comment in YouTube and Twitter, the more times you're going to be thrown into this giveaway. You want to win it. Thank you to Throwback Joe for bringing all this stuff in for us. Let's talk about the Rams. Let's get into this. First initial impressions of this season.
It was I was struck with sadness at the beginning when they were packing up all their things from St. Louis, and they said, out of the office, will not return, not will return shortly, will not return, and I thought that was an interesting perspective because they're leaving that city, but they left this city, so there wasn't any sense of villainy going on. If anything, it was just kind of like closing the book. Closing the chapter and then another chapter beginning. And so I thought it was really poignant to start the season like that.
You know what I liked about actually all of them moving is the fact that Case Keenum kind of brought up that this isn't just one player leaving to go to another team or somebody being cut. Everyone's moving. This is a cohesive thing. So they're all kind of in it together, getting used to a new city for most of them, even if they have homes here in LA or whatever. This is brand new for a lot of them, which I think going as a team makes them stronger at the end of the day. What were your thoughts, Mr. Throwback Joe?
Yeah, same on the lines what Joe was talking about is we know as far as the LA Rams fan base what it took out of us when the team left in 93, 94, at the end of the 94 season. So a lot of hurt, a lot of heartache, a lot of uprooting of families, going back to the Midwest. So we understand what they went through. I myself I've been a Rams fan no matter where they go. They could have played in the Philippines and I would have followed them. So it's disheartening, but at the end of the day, it's business. And that's really what drives the thing, is business moving back here. We've, as far as the LA Rams fan base, we've been waiting for 21 years. It's kind of like having the old girlfriend come back into your life, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're just tickled pink and we're just ready to rock and roll with these guys.
I have to admit, out of the 2 montages we saw of Los Angeles, that first opening montage was Beverly Hills. It's the girls at the beach. It's the Beverly Hills walking with their dogs and their purses. And then later on we see a montage of the actual city, the buildings, downtown, the skyscrapers, all of that stuff. And in my opinion, that's a far more accurate portrayal of Los Angeles because it's culture. It's they showed not the Getty, but what's the building?
The Griffith Observatory.
The Griffith Observatory.
Yeah.
All of that stuff, that's the history of Los Angeles. That's history of the Rams then too. So I prefer seeing that over the whole Hollywood aspect of the Rams, and I get it. But I was kind of thrown off, but it wasn't my favorite thing.
Right.
It started off, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this, if they're going to make this all about the Hollywood aspect of it.
Correct.
You don't want to see that.
Yeah, no, I don't. A lot of the friends that I have that are in the trenches, there's real diehard Ram fans that are out there. Like I got a buddy named Ralph Valdez, and he lives in, we're talking Whittier. I got another buddy named Mike Martinez. He's in Menifee. So those they're all spread all over. It's not just a Beverly Hills thing or Hollywood. Not everybody lives underneath the Hollywood sign, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. So that we go from all over, and then here I am, from Fresno. I'm, almost 4 hours north, and here I am. So we're all over the place, the Rams fans.
Well, and obviously the opening shot of this LA Rams focuses immediately on, quarterback Jared Goff,
right?
The number 1 draft pick out of Cal Berkeley. This is going to be, the bread and butter. At least that's, I think, what Fisher is hoping, and St. Louis is hoping as well. Los Angeles Rams as well. The bread and butter of their team, him and Pharaoh Cooper, both of them rookies, in the Goodyear blimp, getting that view of Los Angeles.
Right.
We know he's going to be obviously featured. Now, I have a question for you guys. Going back history-wise, anyone that's the number 1 draft pick at the end of training camp comes out, starts a season. They're playing that first game. Do you think that first game is going to go to Case Keenum, or do you think it's going to go to Jared Goff? History shows with, it's RG3, Andrew Luck, Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston. It always goes to the draft pick. Who do you guys think it's going to go to, that number 1 quarterback position?
I think that, with the spread offense and being under center, I think that there is a little bit of learning curve, and I think with people like RG3 and seeing how they progressed in the NFL, I think that Fisher, especially considering if this doesn't work out, this might be Fisher's job. Especially considering how much they gave up to go ahead and get up and get Goff. I wouldn't be surprised if Case came out and started to get Goff into it, and kind of ease him into the system. But if Goff comes in there and starts slinging it in training camp, and we're going to find out, with the preseason games, they can't deny the greatness. They're going to have to go for it. The fans will be screaming for it, just like the front office would be.
Right. I totally agree with Joe. I believe Keenum's probably going to start. I think opening day you're going to see Case out there in the field. But like Joe said, they got him for a reason. I just don't see him carrying that clipboard too long. I just don't. They're probably going to throw him and baptize by fire. It's going to happen. But I look to Case to probably start the first game, versus Seattle at home.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, and against Seattle too.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's going to be a game.
That's our home
rough.
opener. Of course, we play the Niners the first game, but we'll see.
I'm scared. I'm not even gonna lie. That game, y'all are gonna come to play, and the fans are gonna come to root.
Right.
21 years of cheering. That
it's
place is
gonna
gonna be
madness,
louder than the clink.
Right. Right.
We also see an inside look into Jeff Fisher kind of taking those couple days before practices started up in Montana with his son, Brandon Fisher, who's actually one of the coaches as well. Fly fishing in Montana, it's gorgeous. It reminds me of A River Runs Through It. I don't know if that was filmed in Montana, but that beautiful, gorgeous
beautiful
scenery. Taking the downtime before this move to LA. Now, Jeff Fisher's actually originally from Culver City, California, which I found out, which I thought was kind of great. So this is his, coming back to LA moment anyway. This is where he's gonna be. I'm excited, and as you guys said, seeing that first initial, the moving vans, moving to California, the California Dreaming playing, in the background, all of this is everybody amping up to move, and we see Case Keenum and his wife packing up. We see Robert Quinn and William Hayes, both defensive ends, sitting on a beach in their beach house with their family, talking about their new whips.
Yeah.
Right.
And she's got a nice whip. Either I don't know if they were talking about her ring on her finger or her watch.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Which
both,
one?
Right.
Both bling on both of them, more than we can see. But this is new territory for a lot of them, and getting used to it. We see Les Snead, the GM, Alec Ogletree, who just had a baby that he wished, obviously it could have happened a couple weeks earlier, so he could have spent that time with baby. But, jumping right into all of this and the training camp. We also see Roger Saffold and Jamon Brown working out at,
Muscle Beach.
Muscle Beach, doing it
Yeah.
right there, which is iconic. Los Angeles, Venice, 6 weeks of training camp. They're going to be in dorm rooms that have no air conditioning. They are the only team without air conditioning.
Ooh, and I saw when they were talking about how Goff got the fans for the offensive coaches. That boy's so lucky he's wearing a red jersey. Right. Because if I was Quinn, I would pop him good and let him learn.
Right.
It's great team building for your teammates, your offensive teammates. Your defense, if they knew that, they would not. Yeah, you're right. They're not happy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Thankfully, the Rams got air conditioning for all of them into the dorm rooms, because I think there would have been major smackdowns going on. The first thing we see on the UC Irvine campus is actually Coach Fisher calling up Nick Foles, which obviously we had known already that he had been released from the team, but we actually see the phone call to Foles. And Foles had to have thought that this was going to happen after they had drafted, Goff. That this was coming.
Right.
Thought he handled it well. Was short and sweet.
Right.
Part of me thinks that I don't know if it was out there. I don't know if I just made this up, but I almost think I heard him saying that he had requested to be either released or traded, or was talking about it once Goff came in, because he knew kind of what was going on.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so I wonder if that had anything to do with how short and sweet it was. But I could be making that up. But I think it's a good decision. They got the future. They got Case, who's going to be kind of the rock right now, and part ways and save some salary cap.
Well, Nick's a great quarterback. I had him on my fantasy football years ago when he was playing for Philadelphia. What's his name? Quarterback, the one with the dog.
Michael Vick.
Michael Vick, when he was out with injuries. So,
Right.
and he was a great player. So we'll see what he does on Kansas City this year. Bring your own bedding, they have to. And we get introduced to Eric Kush, who is the man of 10,000 tank tops. It's like the man of 10,000 lakes, Minnesota. He's got different ones for every single, I just spilled all my water.
That's
every
okay.
single situation, he's got a tank top for it. And we get Fisher coming in and telling us the rules of this season. Number 1, be on time. And I have a feeling that they made this a really, really, really big, important thing because they knew what was coming later on. Number 2, no guests allowed in the dorms.
Wow.
Guests. I like how they say guests, but like no ladies. Like they're talking
Right.
about like
Yeah.
cause,
Yeah.
and he even said it. He's like, listen, you don't want to be coming back next time and then having a 3-month-old watching you play at practice, which is so true.
Right.
And especially on the campus of like a college campus where now all of a sudden they're the hottest people in town. They're new. And like there's gonna be a lot of people. Not saying that the ladies are gonna prowl on them,
Right.
but
Right.
they have a lot of money and
Right.
they could be trifling.
Yeah.
They could be.
Well,
Yeah.
I like that he's, the whole, that rule break, right? That's a big one.
Yeah.
Where it really impressed me from Coach Fisher. I thought he was a little more mild and mannered, and he took it to him. Well, set precedence, though. You know what I mean?
I mean, you got to be, it's like if someone is going to test the rules and
Right.
breaks them,
Right.
you mean like you have to, really set it up,
Correct.
being like, okay, well, if I don't punish him now,
Right.
everybody's going to have breezies in
Right.
these rooms.
Yeah,
you know,
Deion
like-
Long got released from the team. He was already picked up by Philadelphia, actually, which I saw on Friday.
Right.
So he's already been picked up. But, I mean, to follow through with that, there had to have been other reasons. He's not going to let go of Todd Gurley
No, yeah.
Right.
because he had a female
That's
in
not
his
gonna
room.
happen.
We know that.
Right, correct.
So there has to be something else behind it, not doing the reps or whatever it is. But setting that precedent right away, knowing that this is, business, which is great. That's important to do. We also see the conditioning practice, doing the tests, and quarterback, Goff coming in there doing great.
Yeah, he
All
looked
of them. Just
Yeah.
He did.
rocking out. They're returning to their rooms. They all have new air conditioning. Yay. Lots of fans. I read something online about camp, training camp, is that they only do autographs for kids 14 and under.
Correct.
They do photos with whomever,
Right.
but autographs only for 14 and under, which is good. It is about the kids and,
Right. It is.
and stuff. That makes it really, really nice. It's kind of like I've been to a couple Packer practices, and one of the big things about the Packers is between the training field and the actual stadium, it's quite a little hike. So kids let the Packers ride their bikes, and at the end of a season, the Packer player usually buys the kid a new bike or something.
Nice,
It's
yeah.
kind of their way to interact
Yeah.
with the fans. So this is their way to interact with the fans. We found out later on at their first practice at the Coliseum, they had 25,000 fans in
amazing.
attendance at a practice.
I think that's more people than there were at the Dodger games against the Phillies yesterday.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
I think that's
Right.
more than that was.
Right.
Like,
Right.
that's monstrous.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now, as we're watching Case kind of come in, playing quarterback, we're also seeing Goff come in and play quarterback. He's not used to calling plays in the huddle. So this is something he's got to get used to. He's got to get used to the center, Cush, being like, I want you up in there.
Right.
Get in there. I want to know you're there. I want to know you're ready to play. Give me a little smack.
Get that
I
knuckle
like that.
in there, yeah.
Yeah. But
Right,
it's
yeah.
good because you have to tell what you expect right away from the beginning. Get that in because every player is going to be different, just the same as the coaching styles. Everything is going to be different coaches, especially Mike Waffle, the D-line coach that is Marine background, yelling and screaming, don't drop your hands, don't challenge me, we're going to work here.
Yeah, and then
Right.
he's like, "You'll probably whoop me, but I'm gonna, enjoy it." And I knew this is what I love. My favorite thing about the Rams, and you can't deny it, even though I want to deny it, is the defensive line is monstrous.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the best
Right.
in the
One
NFL
of the best.
currently.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I mean, I don't. At least I would say top 3. Just the depth. And the breadth of the situation. Quinn is a beast.
Right.
Donald, I'm afraid of.
Right. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
It's monstrous, and that makes perfect sense that the man leading that charge is just as monstrous.
Right, exactly.
In a way tiny little body.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that defense is, of course, I'm a little biased, but it really, to me, it's the best in the league. Really, I mean that defense is, brings you back to the old fearsome foursome, with Deacon and Merlin and Lamar and Merlin Olsen and these guys. I mean, they're only playing together the last 2-3 seasons, so you don't want to put too much on them. But man, they look really, really good.
Yeah,
really good. Yeah.
I know that St. Louis is always, when I'm playing fantasy football, always one of the teams that's one of the first defense to go.
Right.
To get picked up.
Right.
They
yeah.
want
that was my pick.
Monster points.
Yeah. Right. Correct.
Like you said, let's talk a little bit about Aaron Donald, their defensive tackle, who was they're calling him the most versatile athlete. He was Rookie of the Year last year. I have more notes on him somewhere. But not only is he Rookie of the Year and a great football player, he plays ping pong.
Right.
With the best of them.
So good.
Got so mad at Eugene Sims for sitting there. They lost a game against college students first off.
Right.
Totally letting Eugene take over, and you knew it was going to happen because he was just whacking those ping pong balls.
I love and the swing that he had, it was just effortless, just perfectly placed.
Oh yeah.
And even in ping pong, like it shows how much of a competitor he is. He wants to intimidate these skinny little college kids.
Right.
And just takes off his shirt.
Right.
And it's like, let's play ping pong.
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah. They're just freaks of nature. I mean, the guy can play ping pong. He could probably play tennis, racquetball, of course, football. He could probably hoop it up, the whole bit. I mean, did you see him on the sidelines catching those balls with one hand?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know all I'm thinking is give him the rock. If we're on the 1 yard line, let's do a refrigerator Perry thing and let him run that thing in. Or line him up as a tight end. Let him do what he's got to do.
Yeah.
Why not?
He's got the likability and I think the athleticism of similar to J.J. Watt last year, with how much of a beast he is and how likable he is as a person.
Right.
And being that versatile and putting that time and effort in, I definitely see him as that. So we also have Coach Weinke. He's the quarterback coach.
Right.
Had a little conversation with Goff saying quarterbacks are usually the smartest players. But where does the sun rise and where does it set? And there seems to be a little bit of confusion as to where this happens.
Right.
Rises in the east, sets in the west. Goff did not know this. But Kush made a very good point. He's like, actually, the Earth orbits around, or the sun, I can't remember what he said, but says the Earth orbits around the sun. Technically, so he calls us out, and this comes back later on when we come back to Goff and Pharaoh Cooper being in the blimp and him saying, "Do you know where the sun rises and sets?" And he's like, "Well, it's just in the air,"
which is so funny.
It's just great. It's good.
Yeah, it's amazing. These guys, I mean, you got to figure these guys are 2-3 years out of high school.
Yeah,
some of them. So it's great. It's great to see it.
It's really nice to see the lightheartedness when it comes back to back with something like Coach Waffle. Coming in there being so hard, and then seeing a moment like this, and you're like, okay, you don't have to be too tense all the time.
But Jared Goff did not do any favors for stereotypes of blondes with that. I'm just saying, when I saw that, I was like, no. I was flabbergasted.
Yeah.
But,
he went to Berkeley. He had to get in there.
Yeah, he had to get it in there.
That's what I'm saying. But I mean, I don't know. Different strokes for different folks, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
It was great. So we've got special teams practice. So not everyone's going to practice during the special teams practice. But we've got some people in there. We've also got the kicker, who you said you've got a friend that knows.
Well, yeah. Johnny Hecker is the Pro Bowl kicker. Mm-hmm. Great personality. And he played football. He was quarterback for my alma mater in high school, Bothell High School in Seattle, Washington.
Oh, nice.
Well, in Bothell, Washington, technically, yeah. And so I played a little football with his brother Joel. Mm-hmm. And so shout out to the Heckers if you guys are watching.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if we can get him to come in. But makes his busy schedule.
Right.
Is it gonna work? Is it not? Tune in and find out.
That's right.
But yeah, his family is really great, and his brother couldn't be happier, to see the success that Johnny is having. It's really cool.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah.
So they're working on yoga. We're getting the juxtaposition of the hard practice and how difficult yoga can be. Because have either of you done yoga before?
Oh, yes. I go to Black Dog Yoga quite frequently, despite my size. It saved me from burning off my foot in 24 Hour Fitness yesterday when a flip-flop came off in the shower. Luckily, I was able to keep my balance, retrieve the flip-flop, and not kill myself because that foot would have been gone. It's so nasty at some of these gyms. But yeah, so I love the yogas.
Yeah.
Yoga's great. It's a great workout. Some of the guys are getting into it. Some of them look comfortable doing it, others don't. Aaron Donald actually he was like pulling the rope, behind, like
Right.
the strap behind. I'm like, oh, he's got this. Versatile player.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
flexible
Yeah.
too. He could do
Right.
ballet.
Yeah.
Right.
Go to Black Dog Yoga if you guys are looking to get into it. It's
Right.
in the Sherman Oaks. That's my yoga studio.
Fabulous. I got
Nice.
a yoga glow. All right, so then obviously because we are in LA, we're going to see some big, old players at the practices. We're going to see actors, or we've got rappers. We've got Rosie Greer, who was actually a former LA Ram defensive
Correct.
tackle.
Yep, part of the Fearsome Foursome. Yeah.
Luke Walton, who is now the Lakers head coach. We also had Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, throwing around the football. They made a little joke at the end that rappers like to pretend that they can play football, and football players like to pretend that they can rap, which we do see. They were throwing some good passes.
Yeah.
They were getting it done. And Goff is a Taylor Swift fan.
Oh, man.
Is she single?
I think a lot of us are Taylor Swift.
Yeah, guilty as
There's nothing
charged.
wrong with that. Right.
Yeah. No, I think Taylor Swift is dating Loki, Tom Hiddleston.
Oh, yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That is right.
I don't know, why do I know this? We're talking football, and I'm like, well, let me tell you about who
Right.
Tay-Tay is dating
Tay-Tay's
right now,
dating.
you guys. Yeah.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about Todd Gurley, coming off of his rookie season last year, correct?
Correct.
He was Rookie of the Year. I believe he went to Wisconsin. I'm almost positive that he went to Wisconsin.
I think where did he go? I'm trying
Let's see here. Let's go ahead and check. Gurley came out of Georgia.
Georgia, that's
Georgia.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a
yeah.
bulldog. That's right.
Yeah, Georgia Bulldog.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody's
Correct.
from Wisconsin. I'm going to find it later for you guys. Obviously, I'm from Wisconsin, so that excites me. Let's talk about Todd Gurley, though. They're kind of talking to him, the reporters, what's it like being in LA? Are people recognizing you? And he jokes that people don't usually recognize football players.
Right.
But they say, oh, you're the guy in the burger commercial. Because we got it's Jay Moore, right?
Yeah.
Jay Moore talking to him as his agent in the
Right.
Carl's Jr. commercial. So that's how people are recognizing him.
Right. Correct. That's a whole spinoff too of Jerry Maguire. You remember that movie?
Yeah,
Jerry
definitely,
Maguire?
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Great little moment. He's going to be huge this year. He's going to be a top draft pick in fantasy football.
Right.
He's just all the things.
Yeah, enjoy the anonymity while it lasts, buddy, because this market is huge, and you're going to be on every wall and banner
Right.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Especially being in Los Angeles.
Correct.
Yeah.
All those advertisements, all the stuff coming in, it's all going to be
I
everywhere.
think if you braided his hair kind of like around like this and get a little fuzz down there, he kind of reminded me of the Snoop Dogg a little bit. I think that maybe you get looked at that, but I don't know. That's just the sharp features of him and Snoop that they show.
Yeah.
So we've got a day off. Some of the guys, all the rookie defensive backs are in Newport Beach. We've got Ronan Gaines, Mike Jordan, Brian Randolph. They're talking to some of the locals. They're doing a little body surfing down in Newport. They're talking that, hey, if you guys come to a practice, we'll come and do body surfing. And as they're doing this, they're going, no.
Right.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
Right. It's funny to see that athletes they look at these guys, these surfers, as these are athletes too. These guys, they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I know I couldn't do that. That was insane.
Oh man, the whole time I was just sitting there going, "Don't go and what are you doing?" Because the next thing you know, like they're gonna rip their ACL or
Right,
something like
right.
that playing in the water.
Yeah.
I was so terrified that they were gonna do it. So luckily they didn't. But the waves are no joke. I used to go to Hawaii a while, and I never went into the waters in North Shore, but I boogie board quite frequently.
Mm-hmm.
And shoot, those waves they're gnarly. They'll
Yeah.
get you.
Oh yeah, that's no joke. You think water, but yeah,
Heavy stuff.
yeah, it's no joke. Yeah, so yeah, I'm glad they
Also
opted
on
out.
our day off, we see Tavon Austin catching some Pokemon.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I'm 34 years old and I love Pokemon Go. I'm level 24, Team Mystic. It was great. It was great.
He's got his golf cart. He's got a pal, like a buddy with him. They're literally catching Pokemon on the campus.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like, we can't find Pikachu, but we'll find some other ones for
Right.
you.
Right.
I mean,
It's the game that's sweeping the nation, you guys.
Yeah, it's insane. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, even where we're at. I mean, my son and I, we went to Starbucks. I think it was pretty late. It was about 9:30, 10 o'clock, for a kid, 13-year-old going to Starbucks. But we looked across the street. There's this park, and all these phones just lit up. And I'm like, what is that? And he's like, it's Pokemon, Dad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just sweeping the whole country. It's insane.
Yeah,
it's insane.
I mean, if he's out playing Pokemon Go and not having girls coming into his dorm, I guess job well
They're
done.
excited.
Yeah.
Right.
Fisher's happy about that.
Yeah.
Fisher is not happy, though,
Right.
when we come back after the day off, and we've got the day off blues, and
Right.
everyone's playing a little bit rusty. Let's remember that Coach Fisher is one of the longest tenured coaches. He came from the Bears 85 team when they won the Super Bowl that year.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
he's been around. He knows what winning's like. He doesn't want a 7-9 season again. He wants this team ready to go. And you have the day off, you come back, you're a little rusty, but it looks like the pep talk works, and they're kind of picking things back up. They've got quarterbacks making the good throws, and they're taking this first bus to the stadium Coliseum. This is their first. This is history. Right now happening again. This is the first time a lot of these guys have set foot onto this field. They played there for 3 decades.
Correct.
I'm assuming you've been to tons of games there.
Right, tons of them. Yeah, as a child, in the 70s, we would go to the Coliseum. It even killed us to make that. When they left the Coliseum to go to Anaheim, boy, that was awful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we went through 2 or 3 moves with our, the Rams. I mean, albeit it was in Orange County, but still, the Los Angeles Rams, it belong in that Coliseum. So it's really so nostalgic. It's beautiful. They got all the banners up now, man. It's just wonderful. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's like the heart and soul. Like I remember when the Mariners imploded the Kingdom and then built the new Safeco. You feel like, wait a second, no, like there's so much history steeped in that.
Right.
And so the fact that yours wasn't imploded,
right,
and then you guys can return, like what a great homecoming, and to see the fans there and to see the players. I think that it's starting to click now. When they saw that, they're like, we got a job to do, fellas.
Right.
That's exciting.
Right.
That's so exciting.
Right, it is.
Did you guys organize trips to go and see games in St. Louis then?
Yeah, there was a lot of us. We took it amongst ourselves, just fans. There's still some booster clubs here, of course, in Southern California. So people would do that. We would get together and do plane trips and do the whole, a few of us. I know I went with a group of maybe 20. We went into Rams Park, and they gave us a tour of that. And so it was really neat, because like I said, we supported the Rams. True fans are going to support your team wherever they go. Mm-hmm. So sure enough, yeah, I think I made it out there about probably 4 or 5 times myself.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
So yeah, it's great.
And I gotta say, that's what's really cool about seeing a lot of and meeting, like a lot of LA Rams fans is the fact that they're so. I mean, it hadn't happened to them, but they're not rubbing it in St. Louis's faces.
No.
You guys are just. It's really cool that you guys are doing that, and I have a lot of respect for like the Rams organization and the the fans that.
Correct.
They're doing it right.
Right, they are. Right.
I mean, I kind of wondered that because we have at one of the bars I work at, Sean, who you know, he was stoked when he found out that the Rams were coming to LA. A lot of the fans weren't excited about it because the St. Louis fans, because they wanted them there. That's their team. I'd be pissed if the Packers came to LA. I would be genuinely pissed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you do have some people that were upset, on both ends. I know for myself, my dad's from the old school. I mean, he's the one that introduced me. But when they took the team to St. Louis, he was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I just can't watch them. It was just really that much of a heartbreak, where he didn't watch them for years and years. And then, of course, DirecTV came along and offered the NFL ticket. And he's like, well, you kind of peek around the corner. And then who is this Kurt Warner guy, bagging groceries? And now he's my quarterback. And so he eased himself back in the living room. And, of course, we went all the way in 99. But you put a lot of heart and soul into things like that. And, teams are up there with, anything else that you love, in your life, so.
I can't stand the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Right.
Like, I love when KD
You know
went.
where they came from.
Yeah.
Right. Your neck of the woods.
Yeah, they used to be, it's like stealing your girlfriend.
Right.
You can't cheer for the dude that stole your girl.
Right. No, there it is.
But in your case, the girl found out the error of her ways. And
she came back.
Yeah, she
that's
knew where the good relationship
we're
was.
welcoming her with open arms, brother. We're so happy and
Yes, sir.
so giddy. So we're just, Ah, man, I tell you, I broke down. I said this on Facebook, or put it on Facebook yesterday. I probably cried at least 2 or 3 times, especially during the whole Coliseum thing. Because first, for me, my dad's been gone now for about 11, 12 years. So all I thought about was him. And
they're
then
back.
taking me right when I was 10 years old to the Coliseum to go see these guys play. So for me, it was just like, wow, this is. I wish Pop was here, but hey, I've got my little one, and I'm going to take him like he did with me. So life is good right now, bro. It really is.
That's why I love
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah.
Like just all across the board. Like that just gave me chills. Like
Right.
especially with both induction ceremonies with the Hall of Fame and the NFL and Major League Baseball that just went down. Like to hear that, to hear people in LA, because there are a lot of actors out here going, I don't like sports.
Right.
They don't know sports like sports. Like
Right.
we know sports.
Right,
And,
exactly.
And I think that's something that's really cool.
Right.
Bridges
Those
a
are
lot of
the
gaps.
transplants. Because the real LA people from here
Right.
are going to love sports,
Correct.
whatever team it is. It's
Right.
the transplants that come here that are like, I don't like sports,
Right,
or whatever
correct.
it is.
Right.
I'm gonna stand up for those born and raised California people.
Right.
I did find out who the Wisconsin guy was. It's Lance Kendrick. He's the tight
Oh,
end.
yes.
He went to
Right.
Wisconsin, Milwaukee, actually, or he's from Milwaukee. Actually ran track for the Badgers in 2007. Did triple jump and long jump, and
Jesus,
placed.
that's a big dude.
That's
Yeah.
a big dude.
Right.
I mean, I did triple jump and long jump. I'm tiny, but the big dude doing it, it's crazy, and he
Right.
placed.
Right.
So let's talk about some predictions for the next 4 weeks. What players you're excited to see? Who you think's up and coming? Tell me your thoughts right now. Give me some.
Your
give me some
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
we do obviously see next week that a fight breaks out in practice. This is no. We see this all the time
I
between
like
offense
that.
and
Right.
defense.
Yeah.
It's always going to happen. We see Marquez North. He's the rookie. He's new to camp. We've got the preseason game against the Cowboys.
Right.
So, any players you're really looking forward to seeing?
Well, outside of Jared, I look forward to seeing Todd run that ball. But gosh, it's going to cringe to see him in there too long. Get him in. Maybe half first quarter. I know the fans don't want to hear this, but I need to rest that guy. And let's see how Jared looks. Coming out of the huddle and the whole bit. So, and then of course the defense for me. Really, I can't wait. I've got a few friends that are on the defense. Tremaine Johnson and TJ McDonald. Tim is his dad. They both went to USC, but they're both from Fresno, born and raised. So TJ's a good guy. So I'm looking forward to seeing him out there. And
We
so
saw
that's
Tremaine this season.
right.
We saw Tremaine this episode, didn't we? At some point.
I think he was out there little smack talking on the sidelines or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. Great guy.
I'm really excited to see with what's going on with Trey Mason.
Oh yeah.
I don't wish any ill will, but I read that story about how he hasn't been showing up, and there's been a lot of
Hasn't returned the phone calls.
and I hope everything's going well with him.
Right.
I'd like to see something on this season about him, but I also am really looking forward to seeing the development of the defensive backs.
Right.
And to see, because that's what because y'all got, the Rams have such a good defensive line that if their back end gets loaded up,
Right.
it's going to be ridiculous.
Right. We let go of a few guys, but I think we're going to plug those holes in. We're going to be okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, with going on talking about Trey, it's just really a sad situation. What's going on,
Yeah.
So these guys know. They all know. Especially dealing and knowing a lot of athletes that this working for the NFL, that's a privilege. It's not a right.
Right.
So hopefully things are going to come out good for him. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
he's
see.
a talented back.
Yeah, he is.
and-
Yeah, isn't he? Yeah.
And how it's all about pressure and how you handle the pressure. And,
Correct.
And we're seeing how Sam Bradford is handling the pressure with Carson Wentz in that situation.
Right. Wow.
And with Gurley coming in, I would be intimidated too if I was Trey
Right.
Mason.
Yeah. Right.
Because but Trey Mason has some good stuff. He could get some third down carries, get some stuff out of the backfield and,
Right.
and see what
Right.
happens. Spell Gurley a little bit, but
Right.
that's the storyline I'm looking forward to hearing.
I
Right.
think he's just trying to get cut. I
Yeah.
think he wants to be released and go to another team.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
there's too many great players coming up that he is intimidated by.
Right.
Which he can't necessarily say.
Right.
But I think he just wants to get cut and go to another team and play for somebody else, because otherwise why would you he's going to be released if he doesn't come to camp.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's going to look horrible. That's the thing, though. I feel like that would also, look really horrible as far as like competition. Like when Bradford was sitting out,
Right.
all I could think of was like, he's a punk.
Right.
Like he's
It's
done.
like, come on, dude, step it up.
Yeah,
you
this
know,
is the
where's
NFL.
that competitive juices going? Get in there.
Yeah.
Fight for it. You know. So yeah, I think with Trey, I don't want to say anything bad. It's not a Johnny Manziel
No.
situation.
No.
No,
It's
no.
just, you know, hopefully he's going to get some whatever help he needs and get back in there, man. Because he's, like you said, he's a great talent. He really is. I'd love to see him run the ball. You know. So. But you know, we have Benny Cunningham too. That's a stud as well. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
we'll just see what happens.
And that's the thing. It's like, Trey, you better hurry up and start taking some
Correct.
carries away from Benny during
Right.
these
Right.
during these reps because he's set up. He's
Right.
set up to go for it.
Yeah, you know.
I'm excited this year to see Tavon Austin get thrown to and hopefully hit the 100 pass mark.
Yeah.
Man, that'd be nice.
I mean, I feel like this is a season that definitely could happen.
Right.
I really like Farrell Cooper, the new rookie, coming in too. I don't know. I want to see them playing together. I want to see that chemistry with them and with Goff and Keenum too, just to kind of see where this goes. But I think that Tavon's going to get his 100 passes this year.
He's so explosive. Like I drafted him in fantasy football a couple years ago and was a bust that year. But I mean, the potential is there. He's so explosive and so quick.
Right.
Like I mean, we saw so much of that last year
Right.
that the sky's the limit.
Yeah, there's an advantage of him. You know, if you've ever stood next to the guy, he's really no taller than you and I.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but like you said, he's explosive. He gets through those holes super quick, and he's gone.
Yeah.
You know, but he's not a prototypical, 6'3", 6'4" wideout. You know, but man, give him the ball and let him work. It's almost
Yeah.
like a little video game. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I think you're right. If we can get him that many touches, look out. Look out.
Absolutely. And we obviously have the Cowboys versus the Rams this weekend coming up. I don't need you guys to predict and say who's going to win. Preseason, I mean, essentially, we're just looking to see the players coming in
Right.
and really do something, see who's going to step up to the plate, see who's going to make those plays that are going to get them solidify that spot on the team. So all I'm looking for in these games, upcoming games, is good players coming in and just hitting it hard. Because we're
Correct.
going to, as we get through each week, cuts will be made.
Right.
Is there anything specific that you guys look for in preseason games?
For me, just tenacity. But the number one thing that I look at preseason games is health. Stay healthy. Get out of these games healthy. Not nick up a little bit,
Right.
but just play to the best of your ability and get out of there without getting hurt.
Right. I think that's the biggest thing. You want to come back to to practice Monday morning and going, well, this guy's still okay. This guy's, you want to come back intact.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to those guys that are hungry and that are trying to earn a position. The DBs and things like that, the Farrell Coopers of the world. That's what I'm really looking for. And Jared, of course, he's our number one guy. I want to see him throw the rock around and see how he looks and see if he stays poised under pressure. And just like you said, man, stay healthy.
Yeah, the best
we need
ability
you for
is
the season.
availability.
Right? Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Right.
Love it. Guys, this wraps up our Hard Knocks. I'm going to let you know one more time.
Let's show this
about,
off.
Yes,
Yeah,
show
let's
it
show
off
it off.
there. So we've got 3 things we're going to do for this giveaway. Talk to us about this jersey here.
So what it is, it's a hybrid between a jersey and a hoodie. So that's what I came up with. This one that Joe's holding is a Kevin Green, played for the LA Rams, of course, in the 90s and went on to the Steelers and I think Carolina Panthers. And then most recently, this past Saturday, inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
As a Steeler, but there's a lot of Ram fans out there that just love this guy. And talk about tenacity, Joe. He was one of the best.
He's got it on.
Yeah.
So it's a hybrid of a jersey and a hoodie.
Yeah, a little hood. If you turn to the side, it's got the horns on the hood to depict a helmet.
Oh my gosh,
of course,
so great.
everything's stitched. It comes in stitched and heat pressed, and we even got one that's coming now that's sublimated. So really cool little horn accent on the wrist and horns on the sleeves. I'm sorry, the laces. But it's cool. It'll keep you warm, and most importantly, you're going to look good.
That's going to be our big giveaway prize. We also have
Right.
2 more prizes. We've got a Vince Ferragamo signed photo and also a license plate holder. Once again, for you guys to get into this giveaway, all you need to do is follow us on Twitter, all 3 of us on Twitter, comment on YouTube and Twitter, talk to us. Also rate us 5 stars on iTunes. Leave your Twitter handle so we know. Put your names in a hat. We're going to pick at the end of the 5 weeks. The more times you chat with us, the more times you're getting put into this giveaway. So we want to hear from you guys. Thank you so much. All right, JoJo,
Yeah.
Doyle,
It's me.
where can the fabulous people that are watching Hard Knocks right now find you?
Y'all can hit me on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. It's all JoJo Doyle. come tell me, talk smack about the Seahawks to me. That's cool. I love it because shoot, the season's live coming up pretty soon, and let's make it happen. Let's get some good competitive stuff.
And Throwback Joe, where can everyone find you?
So you can find me on Twitter. It's Throwback Joe 66. Also, download my free app. It's available on all Android, Apple, iOS, so Google, I believe, the whole bit. So download my app. It's Throwback Joe. We have a lot of cool things on there, gallery, Rams news, little contest going on, and of course all the merchandise. So it's really a cool app.
The designs are crazy up there. You guys got to check it out. They're clutch. They're really nice.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And you guys can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Lyndsey Wegner. That's LYNDSEYWEGNER. Or my blog, lyndseywegner.blogspot.com. Maybe I'll come back with a fantasy football blog again this season. Stay tuned, you guys. Next week we'll be back for week 2 of Hard Knocks. Thank you, Joe, for being here with us. Thank you, Joe. Welcome to the Hard Knocks panel. We'll see you guys all next week.
Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.